The question has to be raised now. Are the Chiefs at risk of missing the playoffs this year? And I do believe at this current moment in time that they are. And it's kind of shocking to see that the Chiefs haven't been able to get any sort of consistency so far this year whatsoever. And the issues are not just on the defensive side of the ball. It's across the entire team. Offensively, they are extremely turnover prone, more than any year in recent memory with Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position. In the first 7 games this year, the Chiefs have 17 turnovers as a team. The next 2 teams behind them are the Jets and the Jaguars with 12 turnovers. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs just went to the Super Bowl last year, and they are in the same company with 2 of the worst teams in the AFC and the NFL as well in that regard. And Mahomes has struggled mightily this year. Granted, he has thrown for 18 touchdowns this year, but he has 9 interceptions already. To put that in perspective, he had 11 interceptions the last 2 seasons combined in 2019 and 2020. He has really struggled, and he has been turning the ball over consistently throughout the entire year. And not only that, the Chiefs' offensive line has been unable to keep Patrick Mahomes upright through the first 2 months of the season. They have given up 14 sacks already, and they're projected to allow over 30 sacks by the end of the season, which would be the most in Mahomes' career. And offensively, this unit is falling apart at multiple spots, but to me, the offensive line issue is maybe the biggest one that is flying under the radar. If the offensive line is not winning the line of scrimmage the majority of the time, it can throw the entire offense out of whack, and we've seen that so far, and it especially showed in that matchup against the Titans. The Chiefs have one of the most high-powered offenses in the NFL, and they only scored 3 points against the Titans. And the Titans have a subpar defense, but they looked like the damn 2000 Ravens defense against KC yesterday. The Titans defense really gave it to KC, and KC had no answer for it. And this kind of goes without saying, but the offense needs to get it together. I know that's kind of obvious at this point, but they got to really get it together and get some sort of consistency going on that side of the ball. And then defensively, Kansas City's just pitiful. And there's no other way to say it. First of all, they damn near give up 30 points a game. In the first 7 games this year, they've allowed opposing offenses to score 203 points against them. Only 2 teams have allowed more points so far this year, which are the Washington football team and the Miami Dolphins. And those teams are some of the worst teams in the NFL this year. The second one is that Kansas City can't get any sort of pass rush whatsoever. They are dead last in sacks, which is just flat out awful. I believe they average 1 sack a game. They're getting no pressure against quarterbacks. And the opposing quarterbacks can just sit in the pocket and be able to dice up that Kansas City secondary, which is one of the weakest in the NFL. And then the third one, and this is kind of a major issue that I've seen with Kansas City's defense throughout the entire year, is they can't force offenses off the field on third down. Coming into the Titans game, they're allowing opposing offenses to convert on third down 45% of the time. Against the Titans, Tennessee converted on 75% of their third downs and completely dominated the time of possession against KC. For Kansas City, it's bad. I have no other way to say it. And I think it stems from this. I'm of the mindset that the loss against the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl damaged the psyche of this team. I think Tampa gave the league a blueprint on how to beat KC moving forward. And ever since, Kansas City has struggled mightily. And I do want to say this, though. I still believe that the Chiefs can make the playoffs. I don't want to say that it's over, that they should just pack it up and call it a day. But it's like I said at the top, they are definitely at risk of missing the playoffs. And when it comes to the coaching staff, Andy Reid and the coaches are going to have to fix this sooner rather than later. They have a lot of work on their hands, and there's no simple fix for the issues that they have as a team. And when it comes to Andy Reid, he's got to make the adjustments now, because I think the league has figured out a way to slow down Mahomes. And I think this season so far has proved it. I do think that Kansas City, if they're able to get some consistency going as far as winning games, I think that puts them back in playoff contention. But at this current moment in time, they are really struggling. I mean, in the top of the division, you have the Raiders and the Chargers to deal with. And those teams have looked pretty solid this year. And the Chiefs have looked the opposite this year. I mean, the Chiefs are basically the worst team in their own division. And I thought that they were going to be an easy AFC West division winner this year. But turning the ball over, not getting opposing offenses off the field, and just the amount of mental mistakes they're making as a team is the reason why, or are the reasons why, that KC is sitting in the position that they're at. I think that it can be resolved to a certain extent, but I think these are going to be some lingering issues that are going to carry with KC throughout the entirety of the year.